I'm going to go back to something that you said earlier, which is about as part of the Keppel transformation, there needs to be transparency of some amount of information. You also use terms like data lakes and all that. And so at the heart of a lot of digital transformation is about your data strategy, right? How do you go about making sure that you have the right data that is analyzed or that is used in the right way by the right people? So what would you say would be the data strategy for Keppel Group as a whole going forward?
So, data strategy has many parts. So to me, I think we've embarked on this program called a data exchange platform at Keppel, which is basically creating and capturing data from all parts of the businesses in Keppel, in the new Keppel that we envisage. From the asset management side and from the operating platform side. So how are we using or capturing that data to create that common source of truth, for whatever reason we might want to use the data? So that's one part. The other part to me is governance around it. To your point, what part of data is to be used by whom, and how do you protect your data in many ways, regulatory or non-regulatory driven. But data protection is the second piece. And the third piece, which to me is equally important, if not more, is about data literacy. A lot of people talk about data-led organizations. Now, again, to that point, I go back to my technology, people and processes. You can create a data lake. You can create those areas where you can capture the data and how you capture the data. You can do a lot of mining of data. You can structure it in the way that you want. But eventually, if it is not used for a purpose that can make it make your decisions more efficient, make your business processes better, and apply it to capture new pools and so on and so forth, then it's meaningless because we are not doing this exercise as an experiment. It's an exercise to make sure that we are able to use data in an effective manner. Now there, I think data literacy plays a very big role, because to me, people talk about data-led organizations. Now, when you say a data-led organization, it's not only done by technology, which I think we are in a very good space at this point in time in terms of what are we going to do with our data technology side. What data lake are we going to use? How do we mine it? How do we structure it? And so on and so forth. That I think is pretty much well decided. And we are already in that path of executing it. I think the area where we really need to work now is to how do we make sure that we are able to use that data for effective business decisions, for more becoming more productive, more efficient, and how do we use platforms and how do we use products and services and not depend on the good old Excel sheets as we used to do at one point in time, and be more data-led in our thinking process. So data literacy to me is very, very important. And then, data literacy has an interesting connotation. Sometimes people don't know what they don't know, which is, if I don't know what this data can do to my business decision, unless I use it, I will not know it. To know it, to be able to apply it, I have to learn how to know it. And because it's always going to come through a platform, it's always going to come through some product or the other. And therefore, it is our job to make sure that we train people, we skill people on the platform that we're going to use, so that they are able to then assess and get information and then make a decision and say, wow, this worked. This was much faster, this was much better, this was more efficient. And then when employee starts looking at the benefits of using data and how it helped them take better decisions, then the snowball effect starts. So to me, I think again, from a technology perspective, we are pretty much there, whether it's on the side of modeling or on the side of deploying an XP&A tool, or creating a data lake, and how do we put proper data structures on it, how do we put a governance around it on who will be able to use what kind of data. But eventually, the rubber will meet the road when people understand how to use this data to make effective decisions. And that all boils down to literacy.
So, no, I think that's a great point. I think you have touched on the various parts of data strategy, and it feels like what you're saying is that the technology part, the governance part, even maybe some of the processes part is already in place. But what we really need to work on is the people and maybe the culture part of it, right? That means the ways of working and how people use data and all that.